What up, hoes and pimps? Welcome to the Timeless Gamers Show, where our games and our bodies may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain. Woohoo! Look out! It's timeless, and we are now live in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And for all of our old episodes, you know where to go. Just go there to the YouTube channel, Timeless Gamers Show, or you can also check out the website. It's timelessgamers.com. That is timelessgamers.com. Or you can listen to us talk by going to your major audio streaming platforms out there by searching, Timeless Gamers Show, where you usually get your usual podcast. And you can send us your suggestions, comments, insults, what have you. Send them to timelessgamers.show@gmail.com. Say what? It's timelessgamers.show@gmail.com. And we'll take this opportunity to give thanks to BitMap Books and Streamyard. If you want to educate yourself with the history of video games by genre or by console systems, then the colorful picture books from BitMap Books might be the one you are looking for. Just check out BitMap Books by using our link down there at the description below. And for all of you planning to have your own podcast, webinars, online meetings, and the user and um, everything else in between, the user-friendly app by StreamYard might be the one for you. So check out StreamYard using our link down below at the description for a 14-day free trial. 2 weeks, guys, of free trial, all thanks to StreamYard. And we would also like to give a shout out to Shuffle Emporium. Get your trading cards and other anime related goodies by going to their official website. It's shuffleemporium.com, or by going to their Facebook page, searching Shuffle Emporium. Shuffle Emporium, guys. Oh, previously in the Timeless Gamer Show, we had a very special talk with Sir Bernard Page and Viraj Katwadia, our friends, reseller friends, talking about what inspired them in venturing on the video game reselling, selling old and used video games. If you want to check that episode out, you know what to do. You know where to go. And introducing the panel for tonight, guys. We speaking of video game resellers, welcome back to the show. We got Sir Siebert.
Here, guys. Thank you. I'm so excited for this episode with regards to Famicom and NES, and happy
All
to be
right.
here again. Thank you.
You can tell the energy from his voice that he excited for the episode. And of course, our JDA.
Yes, hello guys, and welcome back to the Timeless Gamer Show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Our live viewers and our audio listeners, welcome back.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir JDM. And of course, Sir Joel.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are. This is Joel Baklit of the Banyagang Native page saying hello to everybody. And we are going to be talking about my particular suggestion topic today, Famicom NES games that you can finish in one sitting. I'll talk about the reasons for those as we go through the show, but I'd also like to welcome everybody here in the live podcast and in the recorded podcast as well. We're very very happy that you could make it and you could download our podcast. Very very happy that to see that you guys are listening and watching us. Back to you, Joe.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Joel. And speaking of those watching and listening, to those watching and listening to us at the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, we wish you well and we hope you make it to dry land soon. All right.
For those of you who are not in the know, we are noticing that our viewers are having an uptick, and some are even listening and watching us right in the middle of the ocean. So Either you're an Atlantean, the King of Atlantis, Aquaman, thanks for being a fan, or a cruise captain on one of the gigantic cruise ships, downloading our podcast and listening to us. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we're very, very happy to have you here.
Watch out for icebergs, sir.
Mm,
All right.
very
Okay.
true.
Let's do some show and tell, guys. So this is a segment where we show and brag anything that we have acquired for the last few days or so, whether it's physical, digital, books, games, music, what have you. So
Mhm.
I believe Sir Joel has a few.
All right, so I haven't really gotten anything games physical recently. I'm waiting for some good sales. It's Memorial Day weekend this weekend here in the US, and I'm anticipating a lot of cheap games coming out, possibly because they're clearing out physical stocks in stores. So today well, this past week I ordered something which is pertinent to our topic today. It's a book. For those of you who don't know, I absolutely love video game history books, technology history books, anything that deals with tech and video game history. This one came in this week. It's called The History of Nintendo, 1983 to 2016, The Family Computer History. And it's an unofficial book written by somebody from France named Florent Gorges. And it's a nice little history of the Nintendo Famicom and NES in full color. As JDM said, it looks kind of like our old high school textbooks, and it chronicles the development and the origins of the Nintendo NES Famicom console, all the way into the Famicom disk system, and it even features adverts, how they came out in various regions of the world, so the US, Japan, Europe, and of course, there's a nice little selection of video games for the NES and Famicom system. Absolutely love video game history books. I have a ton of them here, but this one came in this past week. I think this past week or the week before, and we this is going to be the gist of our topic for today. NES Famicom games again. The History of Nintendo 1983 to 2016, The Family Computer History, unofficial by Florent Gorges, translated direct from French, and it's been put into English. You guys might want to find it in your
Oh.
local shops. You'll definitely find it very educational. And yes, a little bit of a comment here on our chats. Jed Jesus from Shuffle Emporium says, "Tito Joel, I need help to clear a game. How to get the Ultima weapon?" Okay, are we talking about Ultima, the Dark Gate from NES Famicom? I could be wrong on that one, Jed, but I'll have to check. There you go. And Jay also says, "Netflix, please make more video game documentaries." Actually, that's something that I wanted to relate to you guys here. Me and the kid, we were scrolling through Pluto.tv, one of the free TV channels here, and they just had a Minecraft documentary that, might be interesting for us to talk about sometime in the future. Minecraft being one of the biggest games in the world nowadays. But yes, I digress. That is my show and tell for today, the History of Nintendo book. And we don't just talk about video games here in Timeless Gamer Show. We talk about books as well. Shout out to our partners. Also, Bitmap Books. You guys might want to check out their selection of books as well. Back to you, Joe.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Joel. Um, Anybody else in the class would like to show and tell something? Otherwise, we'll just get into it.
Mhm.
All right. So, the topic, guys, is NES and family computer games that you can beat in one sitting. All right. And in this particular episode, as much as possible, we're not going to be using any save states. The game must be easy enough for anyone, even the novices, that with enough time and effort, with minimal distractions going on, they can sit there for a couple of hours or so, playing nonstop, able to finish the game, okay, in one sitting. All right. Now, personally, I am not like these guys that I have around me. Okay, when I was growing up back in the early '90s, we have the Famicom. Okay, Philippines and all that, and uh, like we mentioned before, we were the ones who were renting out family computers uh, wherever we can get. And I am one of those kids who will just try any family computer games that they have, and I'll try them out. If I run out of lives, then I go to the next game. I'm game hopping basically, so I don't really commit myself to just one game and be good at that particular game. All right. There are some games that I happen to frequent because I really enjoy playing the game, but to sit there and I can only afford renting out the console for an hour anyway. And and mind you, family computer games and NES games, for the most of it anyway, they can be very unforgiving. They can be very relentless in their difficulty. Okay. All of our early frustrations are coming from playing the 8-bit games that we had before. So, uh, but that's okay. That is just me. Maybe it's just a skill issue with me. Okay, I don't care. I'm not really good with platformers anyway. Which the 8-bit games are mostly platformers anyway. But we got Sir Joel, Sir JDM, and of course Sir Siebert here. I will tell their stories on which games that they were able to finish in just one sitting. So we'll throw it now to Sir Joel. Go on ahead, Sir Joel.
All right, very, very honored to be the captain of today's episode of the Timeless Gamer Show. NES Famicom games that you can beat in one sitting. All right, our criterion is they have to be NES Famicom games. They can even be NES disc games, like those floppy disk games that you could slot in, and the criterion is you have to be able to beat it in one sitting from beginning to end. There has to be an end, even a splash screen that says congratulations, you have beaten the game, uh and you go back to the beginning. That still
There's an actual
counts.
credits,
Yes,
a credits roll,
yes,
guy.
well, a credits roll or a
Congratulations.
congratulations screen, or good job, back to the beginning. That is one of the criterion. So those are the things that we are going to be counting as our topic for today.
Does it count, Sir Joel, if you have another player with you finishing the game, like a
Yes,
two-player
yes,
call?
that also counts. Co-op games are counted. Co-op games like Mario Brothers. The original Mario Brothers were where Mario and
Right.
Luigi are in pipes. So there, those count too. Although I'm not quite sure that one has an ending. But yes, the main reason for my suggesting this is because we Filipinos, let's just accept it. We grew up with the Famicom. The Japanese Famicom was foundational to our video gaming experience. When the Famicom came in the early 80s, like 83, 84, 85 into the Philippines, it caused a video game revolution. Everybody wanted the Nintendo Famicom, the what is known as the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System in the United States. It was a quantum leap from what we got used to with the Atari 2600 and the DOS games back then. When you saw the Japanese Famicom, you said, I need that. I need to play that. The colors, the speed of the games, the accuracy of the controls, it was mind blowing. And these games are the ones that we are going to be talking about. Like Joe said, there were rental places that popped up all over Metro Manila and Cebu and in Davao everywhere where you could I like that, thank you. Misspelled congratulations screens. That was hilarious whenever you came across those. Though we Filipinos are very, very good at English and at English grammar and spelling.
For the longest time throughout my elementary school days, I keep
Mhm.
misspelling congratulations because of the Famicom.
It's funny. It's true. It's true. But the fact is, we as a as a country, we're very good with English spelling. We're very good with English grammar, and whenever what they call English, would come out. It
Indeed.
would, yes, we would find it absolutely hilarious. So yes, that's reason one, because we Filipinos are NES Famicom fanatics, and number two reason, because we're old. Come on, we are old. We are advancing in age, and we want games that, number one, we played as kids, and number two, we can play again as adults, where we're not spending too much time in front of the TV. We can play from stop to finish and say, I did it. You know, a sense of accomplishment that you can do with one sitting and go back to your regular chores around the house, like washing dishes and I don't know, possibly putting the baby back to sleep. So yes, that's the my two main reasons for for suggesting this topic, and I hope you guys in the audience, both in live and recordings, will reach out to us in the chats right now, which is hopping already. I'm starting to see a lot of people are reacting to how our topic is, and pitch in your uh, experiences, anecdotes, comments, suggestions, games that you can finish in one sitting. Because we're going to be top pitching our favorite ones here, but definitely there are going to be some that are going to be not as well known that other people might want to try. Okay, so for the first round, I'm going to toss in my first game that I can sit down and finish in one playthrough. So my first game is a game called Formation Z. For those of you who are not familiar with Formation Z, it is a side-scrolling shooter game where you pilot a robot that actually can transform. Back then, back in the NES Famicom days, one of the biggest franchises in television was Macross or Robotech, as it's known in the United States. We absolutely, and Transformers. Transformers was huge back in the 80s. Everybody loved Optimus Prime. Everybody loved how Starscream would transform into an F-15 jet, and of course Macross. Who could possibly forget the Veritech fighters that can transform into Gerwoks and Batoroids? So Formation Z is a game where you pilot a side robot running from left to right with a gun that can transform into a plane. And of course, the basic premise is that aliens have invaded the Earth, and you have to blast these aliens from the sky. They try to destroy you. You have three lives. This was actually a nice little, shall we say, bootleg experience of Macross Transformers, because the nice thing about it is you're piloting a robot. You have a little gauge there at the bottom right. It's 99. It actually is a gauge for your fuel. When you transform into a jet, you can't fly indefinitely. You have to conserve your fuel. If you run out of fuel, your jet fighter slowly falls onto the ground and crashes or into the sea. And of course, from beginning to end, you are fighting these, well, not that game, but yes, you are fighting these enemies, these aliens that fly across the sky and on the ground. Tanks, little drones that pop up off the ground, and of course, there's going to be a final boss at the very end. If I remember correctly, it's a ship. It's also got a charge shot. You know, it's not just little pinprick shots like when you keep pressing on the button. When you long press the button, it fires off a really strong charge shot. But of course, that takes time to load up. So in this case, you can see that the while you're flying and in jet mode, the fuel is running out really fast. You know, you started off at 99 and you're halfway across the sea. Now you're down at 40 and 50. Yeah, that's one of the things that you have to be careful of. You have to be careful of the fuel while you are flying, because you're not just fighting across one continent, you're fighting across multiple ones. This one, you traveled from what looks like a generic continent to Egypt, because there's pyramids and there's a sphinx in the background. You have to be very careful about that. Of course, you can refuel. There's fuel pods throughout the level as well, but they're few and far between. And there's many enemies and aliens that do show up, and they have, the usual attack patterns. Some of them dive bomb you, some of them just fly across the sky, and some of them are actively searching you out. You've only got three lives. You can earn one life every 10,000 points that you score. But yes, at the very end of it, you do manage to blast the final alien boss ship. And there's a script that says, "Congratulations, you have managed to fend off this wave of alien enemies. take a rest, and then you go back to the beginning of the game. Of course, I'm not quite sure if it's harder, but after that ending screen, I always just stopped and said, "That's it. I've saved the Earth. I'm good. I'm gonna leave it to the next jet fighter to take over my
Why would
yeah
you
my
want to
battle."
go back and
Exactly.
do it
Yes.
all over again?
Exactly. Yeah. That one of the things of one of the things about us, they do want to extend the gameplay. There you go. Nervin JS Jacinto did identify the game correctly. Formation Z. Yes. Yes, Nervin. Also, nice thing about it is this game was also surprisingly an arcade a port from an arcade game. Formation Z is
It was.
also an arcade game. What which was almost semi-faithfully port. It was a semi-faithful port. I would say about it's 85% accurate to the arcade game, except of course the arcade game is harder because arcade games are designed to be quarter munchers, or in the Philippine parlance, kinakain niya talaga yung mga token mo. It would just eat up your tokens, your 5 peso tokens over at Glicos or at Worlds of Fun. So yes, an arcade port into NES Famicom. Formation Z, absolutely love this game from beginning to end. I could possibly finish this in about an hour if I really dedicated myself to it. And of course, the sense of accomplishment in saving the world from alien invaders is always going to be a wonderful feeling. Of course, being a bootleg Macross and Transformers is never a bad thing. You can transform your robot from a two-legged walker into a jet. Always fun. It's just the limitation of that fuel gives it a little bit of a realistic feel that you have to budget your resources as well. Formation Z. So you guys are seeing the footage here on the live podcast, and if you guys are looking at the recorded podcast too, the recorded video podcast, you can see gameplay footage. So yes, opinions, guys. What do you guys think about this? Oh yeah, I forgot. You can also go into space. There's going to be one section here where you can fly off into space and fight the aliens in their home turf. So yes, what do you guys think of this first game that I've tossed in where you can sit down and finish in one sitting? Have you guys heard of this game? Have you guys seen this played in our Suking Rentahan? All right,
I remember
JM.
playing this.
Seen
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
there you
Yeah.
I remember playing this game, Formation Z.
go.
And number one,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I never got past the ocean. I always keep dying there,
Yeah.
only uh, because during the first part, right?
Mhm.
Because during the first part, as we can see, um,
Grand Canyon.
Yes.
during the Grand Canyon stage, the first stage, the ground is solid brown. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and your enemies and the tanks, the flying enemies above, and then the tanks on below,
Mm-hmm.
they almost share the same color.
Well, that's true.
And uh, and if you're not really careful, you might end up
Mm.
hitting one of those
Oh yes,
things.
I forgot.
Not,
It's a
and not
one-hit
to
kill,
mention
by the
they're
way. Hmm.
one hit kill, right? And not
Yes.
to mention their bullets. They're
Yes.
very small
Hmm.
and they're not really well insinuated, meaning it's not
Hmm.
really it's really they're really hard to notice.
True.
Although to be fair, they're quite slow. So
Hmm.
if and if you get hit by any of those bullets, then it's on you.
Hmm.
Okay, I mean yeah, sure, they're not really well detailed
Yes.
when they're approaching you, but you can easily avoid them if you're
Mm.
fast enough. Okay,
Yes. Hmm.
so with me, I never really got past the ocean stage, and I'm surprised that there's a boss
Hmm.
because I never reached the boss, the first level boss, and I never realized you can also go up to space because I never
Yes.
reached there.
Well, Joe played his Formation Z in one of those 999 cartridges. So yeah, I
All those
wouldn't be
nine nine
surprised.
nine nine cards, right? Do you remember those guys? The nine
Oh,
nine 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 nine
absolutely.
nine nine in one card.
Yes, it's one of the very first lies that we ever experienced in in video games. It says 9,999 games, cool, and it's what 50 games over and over again or
Yeah.
something like that. And that they just repeat on loop or something. Once you get to the 50th one, then it would go repeat the same Super
Yeah.
Mario
Of
one.
them
It's
are
like
all Super
a
Mario.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
It's like a
Yes,
ROM
it is.
hack
Oh yes,
actually.
that's true. Kind of like one of those
Those
ROM hack
other
things.
titles.
Mhm. Yes, JDM, since you mentioned it, what's your impression of the game that I put forward first?
I think I played this before, but
Hmm.
I um
Never got very far at it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just remember the look.
Admit
I've
it,
been
you never
playing.
really got past the ocean stage.
That's true. How about you, Siebert? Well, have you ever played this one?
It's reminiscent to the game Macros.
Yes.
Mm.
Because it's like a mecha type of game. But I have to be honest, because the thing is with Famicom
Hmm.
games back in the days,
Yeah,
I feel like some of the games have no ending. It tends
a
to be
lot of them.
repetitive.
That's true. That's
So
true.
it's just your brain that's working, that's
Hmm.
making the story out of what you're doing. But then
Yes.
again, everything is repetitive.
Oh, it's
if
true,
if
actually.
you
Hmm.
yeah, if you but I was able to play this, but I never had a chance to actually play through it and just sit down
Hmm.
for an hour
Okay.
to finish it. Yeah,
Well,
never.
well,
But
you guys should definitely give it a try. An
yeah.
hour, if you play through it, if you really sit down and concentrate and try to avoid those bullets, yeah, an hour should be fine. You were saying, Siebert. I apologize for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, no, no.
Hmm.
Then I'm just saying that there are games that back in the days in Famicom that I can relate. That's really really
Hmm.
difficult. So there's a tendency that you tend to bore out because
Hmm.
it it goes on a cycle doing the same
Hmm.
thing over again.
Yes.
So I got the impression when I was little that most of the games from Famicom have no ending or have no
Hmm.
story at all. So it's
Yeah,
just you making the story out of it
it's
on
true.
those games that we play
Well,
back in the days.
the funniest thing, Sievert, is that if you read the manuals, they actually do include the story in them. But
Uh,
we were kids. We never read manuals. Come on. But
Oh,
also when we bought the Famicom
mm-mm.
carts, they rarely had manuals. You were loose, if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
correctly. Yeah.
that's right.
There you go. So
I
yes.
think the
We,
reason why
we,
those games are repetitive because for the NES or the Famicom, we have like two parts.
Mm,
Uh, like I mean, there are two eras in that. I mean,
mm,
there are two parts in that era.
yes.
The first one is like they're rehashing the arcade games that are
Oh yes,
repetitive,
that's
and
true.
then the
mm,
second part in the early 90s
Hmm.
you already have developers
Hmm.
who make games that have a story like Final Fantasy
Hmm.
and other platformer games that actually have like a plot. Then they develop like
Mm.
uh like where would you want to go next, and
Very true. Very true.
back
Yeah.
in the 80s, there are a lot of games that had story. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
pero there are a lot that doesn't.
Well.
So they just progress in by getting a high score out of the game, like
Mm-hmm.
games like Puyan.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Um, yeah, yeah. Well, I can't think of another game, but there's a lot of them
Well,
that
for
have
now,
story.
now that
Contra,
now, yes,
Contra
Contra
is one of
definitely.
those
Oh,
game that
Contra
has
had an yeah,
story.
Contra had an ending. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Well,
Um,
now that you mentioned it, Siebert, since you're up to plate,
Double
let's hear what
Dragon.
your yes. Oh, there you go. Let's hear what your first selection of games that you can finish in one sitting is. Of course, Siebert being one of the OGs here in Timeless Gamer, let's give the floor to him. Here.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
I just want to share. I actually acquired some new games
Mm-hmm.
recently. It's
Nice.
from our friends from Retro Gamers and Collectors,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is Jackal. I just wanna
Oh, nice.
uh,
Oh,
Jackal. It's
Mm,
oh my
CIB.
God.
Eh,
yes, very
How
cool.
much? How
man,
much?
how much? Reasonable. I have to be honest,
Reasonable.
because it's from
Reasonable. All right. Let's keep it at that.
Let's
Reasonable.
keep it at that. Yeah.
yeah. But have you guys, of course, you played this game, right? It's like
Hmm.
Jackal. Yeah.
you're in La Humvee. You're in like what's that?
I think is
Uh,
that the is that during Vietnam or the Gulf War?
you're in a jeep with your
Hmm.
friends and like you're shooting and throwing bombs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
casually with
one of
your
those
friends.
games I haven't finished this game for like when was this released? Like 98, 90. But
Late,
this
late
this
80s.
is was it 88? Yeah.
80.
Ever since 88, so now that I have a copy, I will do my best to actually finish it once and for all. So it's one of my new haul, Jackal, and I used to have the Karnov, if you're familiar.
Kornov. Ooh,
Karnov, Karnov, it's a
Kornov.
Japanese release. Yeah, it's one of those first release from Famicom. If you're familiar with Karnov, it's like the Russian throwing bomb guy
Mm-hmm.
na it was one of those first release on the
Mm-hmm.
Famicom, and I was able to acquire the NES version.
Nice.
Yay.
Very cool.
So
Wow.
because I have the US version, I'm gonna get rid of this.
The Japanese.
No, no,
I'm
no.
just,
Make it
Keep it.
make it a pair. Yes. Mhm. All
I'm
right.
just kidding.
Permission to post admins. Read the description.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, what's your selection though, Seabird, as to the NES Famicom game that you can finish in one sitting?
Actually, I can relate to what Sergio just mentioned, and to Sergio
Mm-hmm.
what you mentioned a while ago, because um, people nowadays they had the impression because of what Sega coming in, because back in the days we were kids. I was a kid growing up in the 80s. I was a preteen growing up in the 90s. So I witnessed the rise of Sega and Nintendo back in the days. So when we were kids, we were all familiar with Famicom. Honestly, I don't know NES. I just know when I was a kid. I, the only console I played back in the days was just Famicom. I never knew
Yep.
what NES was.
No, we
So
did not know.
I'm just limited to Super Mario because the games back in the days were very, very expensive. And I was a kid, and we don't exactly have that. We didn't, we're not really privileged enough to actually buy games weekly, but we were already contented with what we have, which is what Sir Joe just mentioned, the 100 in 1. That's uh, half of it is Super Mario. It's just
Mhm.
different stages that you're gonna be starting,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So and probably now that I look at it, one of the most brutal consoles that released some of the most brutal games was not exactly Sega. It wasn't that. It was Nintendo.
Hmm.
So if there are developers, they are developers back then are very sadistic. They don't like kids. They like
No, they did
us
not
not.
know.
You know.
See, our games
Fuck
back
them
then is
kids.
really difficult. Uh, I have to be
Hashtag.
honest. All of the games that released back in the days, they are designed to make it really difficult for us to actually finish.
Hmm.
And like games like Jackal, Garnov, I have games here that I just display. I haven't finished still as of now, and it's been 30 or plus now. So because the thing is with games back then, we got used with Super Mario, that Sega was like fighting over that it's a kiddie game and all that. So Sega was claiming that they're trying to revolutionize the gaming, that we're steering away from those kid friendly like Super Mario, but if you look at the library of Nintendo, they have a lot of brutally insane games now. It's
Hmm.
really, really
Very true.
difficult.
Very true.
And I just want to mention one of there's actually three that I would recommend,
Hmm.
because there's only a few. I have several Famicom and NES games in my library, but only a few of them I finished. I have to be honest,
All
because
right.
some of them I just display and just adore that I have them. But there's only a few I actually finished. So I just want to mention
Oh,
this because
so
this
Siebert,
is
before you go on ahead, Sir Nervin downstairs is asking you a question. Are you familiar with the game Chiller? The game that
I
requires
am
the
not.
zapper. The theme of the game is very sadistic. I
I
have
Yeah,
not
I
heard of
haven't
I
played
Chiller.
that
I,
yet.
I have to
Now.
check that. Yeah,
What the
because
Hmm.
heck is that game?
I have to be honest or Nervin, because there are a lot of games that I'm still I'm I'm just discovering
Yeah, me too.
nowadays,
Yeah,
because because
there's
even
a
though I
lot.
grew up during, yeah, exactly, even if I grew up during that time, it's not like we're exposed to the internet. We never had any of
No.
those,
Oh,
so we just play what's available on what we see on stores and on friends' house. We just
mhm.
borrow,
Yes.
and back in the days, we actually rent those cartridge. I believe it's around 5 pesos.
Mhm.
So you just return it because
That's cheap.
Video City was very, very popular back in the
It's
days.
10 pesos.
No,
It's
five,
ten
five
pesos with
pesos
us.
is expensive. It was expensive for me. I was a
You,
um elementary back
which
in the day.
neighborhood is that?
So
5 pesos.
and
It was
and
ten.
the
It was ten
and
pesos
the
with
thing
us.
is with games, the thing is with games back in the days, when you're renting out, you just I you like carefully choose, because as a kid I just choose the one that has the
Best
most
artwork.
colorful artwork.
Oh yeah, yeah
And
we
then
do.
when you start playing it, shit, you're gonna it's really bad
Oh
if
yeah.
We did
if
talk
you
about
can
those
relate
guys.
to that.
You know,
Oh yes, in one of our previous episodes, the best artwork
judging.
for the worst, yeah, for the worst kind of games. But yes,
Very
so let's see,
shitty
Bert, what's
games,
your
yeah.
selection? Let's see.
There's a lot of them,
All right,
but
let's
this
hear your
is
selection
like
then, Seabird.
this is one of those games that uh I played this in the past, but I recently acquired it when or I already had a job.
Hmm.
So I had the I had that I was had that passion of acquiring a copy. So I had to order it because here in the Philippines it's really hard to acquire one unless a collector sells it. So one of the first game I want to mention is Dream Master.
Dream
So
Master.
Ooh,
Okay.
yeah,
Dream
if you're
Master.
familiar with the Little Nemo in Adventures in Slumberland,
Hmm.
so there was an animated film back in the 80s. It's Little Nemo. It's actually based on that. Um, this game was actually based on that movie. So this is like a platforming game.
Who
It
made that?
plays. It's similar.
Who made it? Tecmo?
It's
Who made that?
Capcom.
Disney?
Data
No.
East. Data East.
Data
This is
East.
Data
Oh, Data
Oh,
East.
okay.
East. Okay, there you go.
So yeah.
Quality.
So
That's quality
I have
right there.
I have the VHS. So
Nice. VHS.
Nice.
Amazing. Yeah.
come on. I still have. I'm a new waiver, and
Mm.
no, so I
New
still
wave
have.
forever. Absolutely. Yes. 80s new wave rocks. Yes.
Eh,
Mhm.
exactly. So they
For
just
those
don't
for
ask
those of
what
you who are
how
familiar
old
with
I am.
Philippine radio scenes, NU 107. Mhm. Anyway.
Exactly. So it plays. It's like Super Mario back in the days, but the thing is, it's platforming. So these are one of those games. It was released around 87, 88. So if you're familiar with the movie, you're
Nice
like
cinematic, by the way.
exactly. So there are few games that
This
was
is an
released
NES
that had
game.
this
Ooh,
good graphics. So
nice.
it's like you're daydreaming, and you actually go to Slumberland, and you try to save the princess. Games are being rediscovered thanks to this channel. Exactly. I can attest to that. So it's like a platforming game. So because most platforming you go from left to right. So but the good thing about this is that you'd have the ability to actually ride. um there are creatures that help you out to progress in the game. So the whole point of the game is for you to find the keys on each state to progress. So there are boss stages as well. And these are one of those early games that had really good graphics and had a really good story. So I highly recommend, if you can get hold of a copy of Little Nemo. It's one of those very beautiful game that was released on the NES back in the days, so early 80s. So that's my recommendation. So are you guys
I like this. It's
familiar
very
with Little
colorful.
Nemo? It is. It
I like
is.
this.
Have you guys not
Um,
not watched Little Nemo back in the days? So Am I the
I've
Not
only
only
one? I
not to be
never watched
confused with
that.
Finding Nemo, guys.
I've only ever seen
That's a
clips
late.
of the original movie. I just
Yeah,
never got the chance to. Maybe it's because of the fact that I'm not quite sure if it ever had a full release in Pinas. Did it ever get released in the theaters? I think we ever just.
I believe it did. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it did.
Oh, I never
So,
got
but
the
then
chance.
again, I never had the chance because we're just
Mm-hmm.
watching Betamax
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. So
Yes. Well, it
back in the day, if you don't
certainly.
have DVD, it's Betamax.
For
What's
those of you who
Betamax?
are. A Betamax is the superior format for you guys, by the way. For those of you who are looking at the video right now, we are looking at footage of the game that Sir Siebert has recommended, and I'll have to say it's very colorful. The action is very fluid, and it seems to be very imaginative. I like how it presents its the dreamlike state of the places that you venture into in a manner that is very appealing to children and to adults alike. So it's a really, really good looking game. And if you guys are not familiar with it, you guys might want to give it a try. Have been, I certainly have, it has certainly piqued my interest, shall we say, Siebert. And like Richard Ryan Ortiga has mentioned here in the chats, games are being rediscovered thanks to this channel. Thanks so much, Richard. And hopefully it's more accessible thanks to accessibility. For those of you who might want controllers, accessibility controllers, they are being developed now for people with, shall we say, less capable reflexes like me. But yes, Siebert, this is the game that Siebert has presented. What's your take on it, guys? What's your opinion? How is Sir Siebert's suggestion? JDM.
I haven't played this before, but I saw someone stream this like 2 years ago. You know that other group.
Mm,
That's the first time I saw this game being played.
mm-hmm,
I never heard of the title. I I never heard of the was it the movie or
mm-hmm,
TV series?
mm-hmm.
No, so I got no
Oh, it was
idea.
a
But it
movie.
looks
Yeah,
A
it was
movie,
a
it's
yeah.
a
movie.
movie. Yeah, I see.
Mm-hmm,
I haven't seen this because
Mhm.
let's see. Um, I was only when did I first play the Famicom? Like
mm-hmm,
1992, so it was later than everyone else.
mm-hmm.
I haven't played most of the games that were released earlier than that, except for Mario, of course,
Ah,
because that's like the default game of everyone in Contra.
oh
But
yeah.
this one, it looks colorful, and like I mentioned earlier, this was the era where they finally maximized the use of the NES and Famicom systems. So
Mm-hmm.
developers were able to use every resources that are available in the console. So it looks
And
great.
it's really beautiful, guys, and I highly recommend it. So
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend you watch Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland as well as
Okay.
the game. So you can when
Ah,
you actually watch the movie, you can relate to the game. But as it goes, it's not a kid-friendly game. I have to warn you this. It might be colorful. You might see those
but it's not.
cute little characters, but it's not. So with any platforming that came out from Nintendo, or well, some of them, it can be very brutal. So these
Mm-hmm.
are one
Eh,
of them. But
There's Donkey
I
Kong over there.
yeah, there's a part where you can actually use the
A
Donkey
gorilla.
Kong. And anyway,
All
the
right,
gorilla.
Joe. What's
Yes.
your impression?
All right. So for the, just looking at the first stage, okay, and I'm guessing because he's what dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw him turning into a frog. I saw him turning into a miner, like miner. You know, like shoveling down the soil and the
Yeah.
ground.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him riding a giant bullfrog, and now he's riding a giant gorilla. So yeah, so basically he is dreaming, like
Mm-hmm.
he is in his own wonderland of sorts. And I remember AVGN having reviewing this game called Daydreaming Davy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Huh?
this kind of reminds me of that.
Okay.
But I think this one's a little bit better because Daydreaming Davies sucks balls.
Oh,
It is.
there's
It
a
is.
little
I
bit of
highly,
an
highly recommend this.
there's a little bit of an argument here from not so much an argument, but an assertion from Ricky Ice Cubes on YouTube. Every game on NES can be beaten in one play. In fact, most games only take 15 to 20 minutes from start to finish when you master them. That's the key word, though, Ricky. When you master them, then we have some amazing people now who do what they call speed runs or something like that,
Eh,
where you run
Hmm.
through an
Hmm.
entire game in about 15 to 20 minutes. And I have to say, they are very, very talented. They're amazing in terms
Exactly.
of memorizing the game. Um, the reflexes that they have to hone to be able to finish the game from start to finish in a short amount of time, and kudos to them. But for those of us who are like me, old, and want to just sit down and enjoy and play
We
a
tire
game
out
just from
easily.
yes from beginning to end, and so with the first sense of accomplishment, that's the theme of today's episode. We want to be able to sit down and play and enjoy a game from start to finish, either from our childhood or something brand new, and say at the very end of it, when the splash screen comes up, Congratulations, you are one." Then you could say, "I enjoyed that, and I'm going back to real life now." But yes, Siebert, last few words
I wanna.
regarding your game.
I wanna add that
Mhm.
I first finished this game. It took me around 5 hours.
5 hours. Okay.
So
Mhm.
when I got used, I when I got used, I got I got familiar where the enemies will appear. I
Mhm.
can relate to what Sir Ricky just mentioned. Yeah,
Mhm.
it can be easy the second time around you played it. So
Mhm.
the first time I played it took me 5 hours. Second time
Mhm.
because there's a stage I got stuck that I do it over and over. So and then it went down to 2 hours. So recently when I played it again, it just took me an hour.
There you go. And
So I
it's
got better
honing
at
our
it.
reflexes, and we get
Mm.
good, scrub. Okay, so excellent choice, excellent choice, Sir Sievert. All right, now
Tried
we
it, guys.
try it
Dream
definitely.
Master.
Oh, and don't forget, we are going to be listing all the games that we talk about here in the chats as well after the show. And we move on to JDM. JDM, what's your first choice of NES Famicom game that you can finish in one sitting?
so for my game, it's going to be G.I. Joe, The Atlantis Factor
Nice.
from 1992. So
Mhm.
if you're a fan of the 80s cartoon,
Real American hero.
Absolutely. Yes, and now knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. There you go.
right? And for this game, this is like a sequel for the first game. Um, so they defeated Cobra Commander, and then like a few days or months later, Cobra Commander re-emerged from Atlantis,
Mhm.
um, because he discovered like an unlimited power that he could use to power up his. I think that's the first game, and
Oh,
uh,
hang on.
it's been using the power of Atlantis to power up his weaponry, and it's up for the Joes to foil his plot once again. So the team is led by General Hawk, who is your first primary protagonist
Mhm.
in this game. So they're looking for clues and looking for allies because they've been like dispatched to different parts around the Atlantis, trying to find clues on how to defeat Cobra Commander and his bunch of army. And
Mhm.
then, so in this footage, we have General Hook in the first stage of the game. So you have probes, um, soldiers, and as you can see, he's still using his mano a mano skills because this is like a JRPG game that you could level up your weapons and skills by getting the icons. And along the way, you have these sub bosses that you could uh, you encounter, and then you must collect. At the end of each level, you must either complete an objective like save hostages or plant bombs around the base so you could blow it up. And then
Mhm.
there's also like regular stages that all you need to do is to get to the end and get the radio. So that radio you could use to contact uh, one of the Joes to give you ammunition or revive one of your fallen comrades and heal them. So for the protagonist, you have so General Hawk. Then the second one that you will find is Wetsuit.
Oh,
You
wetsuit. Yes,
can
I remember
go.
wetsuit.
You can go. Who can go
I love it. So
underwater and get the items from there because the other because he has the scuba suit. You The other Joes won't be able to survive underwater for
Hmm.
a long time.
Okay.
So it's only him. And then along the way you will find Roadblock, Storm Shadow, and Snake Eyes and Duke,
Okay.
who is they have different abilities. So for Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, they have this sword that can fire like a fireball, like a Hadouken, a mini
Hmm.
Hadouken at enemies. If you level it up further, um, they will be able to like do like a downward attack.
Hmm.
And then you could also this one unique ability from Duke who could um shoot upwards because all of them they can only shoot
To the side.
horizontally.
Okay.
Yes. And then for the support you have Spirit and then Gung Ho
Hmm.
and I forgot the other one, Big Bear. It was yeah, it's Big
Hmm.
Bear who could revive the fallen comrades that you have.
Hmm.
Spirit heals them if you still have if you have like little health, he will be able to heal you. And then Gung Ho is going to replenish your ammunition because you also have different kinds of projectiles like
Hmm.
your good old rifle. Then along the way, you will have the ability to shoot rocket launchers, lasers, etc.
Hmm.
So you will need ammunition for that, and you could level that up as well. Like um,
Oh,
it, your rifle will be like a three-way.
three
Um,
shot. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, three shot like a shotgun, and then
Hmm.
the laser. It will become powerful as it levels up. So
Okay.
in this footage, we have this
And
is
you
the
rescue
hostage.
hostages too. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
So and for the there are also levels that have bosses like Firefly, if I remember.
Oh yeah, Firefly.
Firefly,
Hmm.
um, Major
that's
Blood,
bro.
Destro. Yes, he is there, but actually some of these bosses are optional because you could just skip them. Like especially Destro, which is like a shame because he's one of the like secondary antagonists, right?
Hmm.
And
Mm.
it's just a shame that you could miss him.
Hmm.
And then lastly, you will at the end you will um, have the chance to fight Cobra Commander himself.
Nice.
And so spoiler alert, guys. This game has been like how many years? Like
Oh yeah, the
30
statute of
years ago.
limitations for spoilers is 10 years. Anything more than 10 years old, you can spoil. Because if you haven't learned what the spoilers are by this time, especially in the age of the internet, it's your own damn fault. Anyway, continue, JDM.
So once you defeat Cobra Commander, they will be able to destroy the Atlantis power source, and like they will scream Yojo at the end, and
Mhm.
which is I was expecting some PSA at the ending, but
Oh, yeah.
sadly they
Mhm.
don't have the voiceover. So even
Mhm.
if I was expecting like a caption below, but it doesn't have. So it's just the credits, the crew who made this game, and that's it. And also one of the most important things in this game, the music. It's awesome. So
Really? Okay.
yeah,
Too bad we
I
can't
have
play
this
music
on
here in
my
our
I
show.
Came with the
yeah.
cartoon.
It's not they don't have the exact music from the cartoon or the series, but
Mhm.
it's unique, it's very lively,
Mhm.
and sometimes the music is really appropriate, especially when you're getting into that space shuttle. And yeah, if you would like to have a listen to the soundtrack of this music, just look for it in YouTube or something.
All right.
And yeah, you will love it.
All right.
And I had this in my player, and I've been playing this soundtrack
Mhm.
in the car like a few days ago. So
Oh, I'd like to read out a little bit of a comment here by Fafford Gaming. If you can beat Blaster Master in 15 to 20 minutes, I'd be in awe. I agree, Fafford Gaming. Blaster Master, awesome game. I'd say relatively hard to beat in 15 20 minutes, but yeah, that one could have been one of the games that we are talked about here. But yes, we are all going through our personal selections of games that you can finish in one sitting. Yeah, personal opinion, JDM, GI Joe: The Atlantis Factor reminds me of another NES Famicom game that you guys might be more familiar with, Green Beret or Russian Attack, as is
mm,
better
Mm,
known here in the United States.
mm.
Green Beret is a game where you are a Green Beret rushing through thousands of it feels like thousands of Russian troops, stabbing them as they rush at you mindlessly, and you acquire a bazooka and shoot it, destroying mines across the floor. Green Beret Russian Attack. This one, G.I. Joe, The Atlantis Factor, certainly does remind me of that. And somebody here in the chats also said that it kind of reminded him of Bionic Commando. Good call, Nervin. That's a really good comparison also. Good choice, JDM. I like it. Anybody else? Anybody else's opinion on JDM's choice? G.I. Joe, The Atlantis Factor. I'm thinking did this happen before or after Cobra Law? Anyway, continue. You guys, your opinion. Siebert, what do you think of JDM's choice?
I think it's a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that I haven't. I have to be honest. I haven't played this game. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it, but I haven't played it. I
Mm-hmm.
might have played it before. I'm not sure, but I because it's one of those games that I didn't have the chance back in the days to actually play. So
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm looking at it, because back in the day, the GI Joe was really popular back in the
Oh, it was
90s. I had
huge.
toys, Storm Shadow, Destro, Flint, Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? There's a lot. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of characters, and I had toys and bootleg toys like
Mm-hmm.
GI Joe. Because at the same time, aside from GI Joe, there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that's back that was competing. That's also popular
Mm-hmm.
during those days. And I'm looking at this game right now. It's something that I'm looking forward playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's not that it's it has variations to it. It's not like you're just going left to right, so there
Yes.
are enemies. So it can be. I played Russian Attack, Heavy Barrel. So
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those games that I know I'm gonna like. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
A little bit of a trivia. If I remember correctly, General Hawk is one of the very first GI Joes,
Mm,
both in the toy line and in their canonical history. I think General Hawk is the first GI Joe who actually coined in their canon the term GI Joe. Anyway, Joe,
that's it.
what's your opinion of JDM's choice of game, a GI Joe: The Atlantis Factor?
Maybe this is the skill issue talking, but I call bullshit. You can finish this game in one sitting. I'm not. I mean,
Yeah, you
to
can.
all of you guys who are watching us live right now, ain't
Mm.
no way you're gonna be finishing this in one sitting.
I think because of the after selecting the stage that you would like to go into,
Mm.
maybe he got the impression because there's a like a password system in the loading
Oh,
screen.
okay, okay.
It's
All right.
it's
Okay.
assuming that
So,
you're
all right.
gonna not gonna finish
Okay.
this.
Okay. Objectively speaking, okay.
Mm.
I
How long did you
played
finish it, by
I
the way?
played the first game. Okay.
Mm.
I played the first
Mm.
game, the one with Snake Eyes.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
Oh,
looking at,
okay.
I mean, with this one, what is this? The Atlantis,
Yes, the
uh,
Atlantis Factor.
Atlantis
Yes.
Atlantis factor.
Yes.
Hmm.
Most of the time, you're just shooting and kicking opponents, and this is somewhat different from the first game, because in the first game you are already using guns.
Hmm.
You're using projectiles to fight people off, and here, at first, you're just kicking and punching, right?
Hmm.
And I mean that's cool. I mean, not everything is being answered with guns. Okay, use your fists, guys. Don't talk. Anyway, um, looking at this, I mean, what I appreciate is the Metal Gear Solid esque transition
Mm,
Hmm.
when you're communicating to your commanding officer like that one,
Mm.
because in the first game they didn't had that, as far as I can
Mm.
remember. Anyway, they didn't had this, right? Uh, and I'm not familiar with these characters. Wetsuit, the hell?
You're
Uh,
Mm.
not familiar with the GI Joe characters here?
no, I know
JDM
Hawk.
listed out
Right?
all of them, and I'm
No, no,
familiar with, I'd say, a
because
good
because
90%.
oh no, because of the show, I'm more familiar with your
Mm.
staple ones.
I see, I
Great
see.
Iron, you got
Hmm.
Hawk,
Hmm.
you got
mm,
Scarlet, you got
mm.
Snake Eyes.
Hmm.
Okay,
Lady J.
uh, to
Lady
name a
J,
few,
yes.
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And on the cover side, you got Destro, you got the
Doctor
Baroness,
Mindbender.
Hmm. Dr.
right?
Mindbender,
Storm
Zartan,
Shadow,
Piranha.
Yeah,
and
Flint. Roadblock.
if
Yeah,
okay,
there.
if if
Now
and
I remember.
if this second game had I don't know Sergeant Slaughter in here,
Okay.
if they got
Licensing
Sergeant
issues now.
Slaughter
Hmm.
doing clothesline, doing dropkicks or body slamming Cobra operatives, I would have played this game. All
But you're a
right, if
wrestling
Sergeant
fan,
Slaughter was
Joe.
here, if they could have afford
The
Sergeant Slaughter
license.
to appear in this game, licensing, you know what? But yeah, but that's just the pro wrestling
Mhm.
fan
Mhm.
inside of me. Okay,
Exactly. Yes.
although looking at the gameplay right now, whoever is playing this game,
Hmm.
he's good.
Yeah.
Like I don't see
Mm.
him being knocked out or being hit at all, and
Mhm.
he already knows the pattern,
Yeah.
which
I can't even do that.
which begs the question: how many hours did he wasted playing this game to master?
Hey, hey, hey.
Uh,
Playing a game and enjoying it is never a waste of time. Remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
no, what I'm saying is,
So,
to
how
hell in
long
one
did
sitting,
Sir
Oh,
JDM?
okay, fine.
How long
my
did Sir
ass.
JDM finish this?
Oh yeah, that's a good
That's the
question, JDM.
question.
How long would it take you to finish one run of this? Now that you know the game from start to end.
Around an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
reasonable. Okay, there you
If you
go.
know where you're going, because there are levels that requires you to find like an item before you could finish the level, like look for a magic medicine
Hmm.
for snake eyes.
And then
So
you
you
have the
need
ending right
to
there.
you need to enter
Oh, it's Roadblock.
every room to look for
Sure.
that magic
Mm.
medicine.
Ayan. And we are looking at the ending of the game itself. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well,
You
one of
know
the
what?
main objectives of our games is of the games for this episode is that there is at least an ending or a splash screen. Yes, Joe, go ahead.
Uh, looking at it now,
Hmm.
uh, the the code names for the GI Joe
Hmm.
operatives
Yes.
are somewhat similar to Autobot names:
L-
Sidewinder,
yeah,
Wheeljack,
a little bit.
Blaster,
Yeah, that's
Mm,
true.
mm,
Cliff
that's true.
Jumper. Like
Mhm.
they sound like GI Joe code names.
And you have to admit, the marketing of it is so effective. Back then, as kids, if you were collecting GI Joe figures, if you got the chance, heck, even if you didn't have the money to collect GI Joe figures, you memorized them anyway.
Roadblock.
From all the adverts that you see. Oh, I wish I had this GI Joe. That GI Joe looks cool. I wish I had that. If I could find it, if I could afford it, I'd probably buy it. But as kids, what's the old principle, Siebert? As kids, we have the time but not the money. But as adults, we have the money but not the time. There you go.
Mhm.
Still
All
have the
right.
time. So
Well, sometimes, yeah, that's it though. So in now we move on to Joss choice of for NES Famicom game that you can sit down and play in one sitting, and afterwards we'll do a very short ad break and we'll do round two of our games. Joe.
All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really good at platformer games. The
Skill
90% of the
issue.
platformer games, it is
Skill
a skill
issue.
issue. Okay, okay. I'm calling it now. Okay, I'm not gonna hear any complaints from anyone. I'm not gonna take shit from anybody. It
Oh
is a
my
skill issue with me. Okay, and this is why I keep playing JRPGs because I don't
God.
really use my thumbs as much. Okay, I'm only used to playing. I'm only used to pushing one button at a time.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. However, for this episode, I did manage to try at least a couple of games, and one of the first games that I was able to finish, I used my PlayStation Vita uh, to play this actually, and I might say because I missed our episode from months before,
Mhm.
so I will describe my game into song. When is it my turn? Won't
Mm.
I love to explore that shore up above?
Okay. Mm.
Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that world. It's the
There
Little
you
Mermaid
go. On NES Famicom.
on the
Yes.
NES.
Near the
On the
sea.
NES, okay. Um, Hey, I missed that episode, the Disney episode that we did, guys. Guys, we also did an NES episode, so check that out. Sir JDM, Sir Siebert, Sir Joel were there, and they were singing the, the Disney jingles of their
Oh,
games.
that
All
Ah,
right,
reminds me.
so
yes.
check that out.
Did we get any copyright strikes on that one? No.
Oh no, we did not.
No.
No good. Lucky.
All right, no, we did not. So Little Mermaid, guys, for the NES, and I believe I'm not sure who made this. I believe it was oh was it Tecmo who did
Capcom.
Capcom. Oh, see, Capcom
Capcom.
did this, guys. So basically, Ariel is shooting Hadoukens in this game.
Hey,
All
come
right,
on. Mega Man. Okay. Mega Man
so
Buster Shots. Okay.
So the story, basically, if you're familiar with the Disney animated movie from 1989,
Hmm.
so this is a what if situation. So the first few minutes will be with the introductions, like a mini cutscene. So Ariel already got together with Eric. However, Sebastian came running in saying Ursula is doing some mischief. Um, so now mischief in the kingdom of Atlantis. So Ariel needs to get the attention of the GI Joe operatives to help her fight Ursula. Because, all right,
I
so
It
mean,
is a Capcom game as well.
it
yeah,
is a
it is
cap
a Capcom
which
game.
GI
Yeah.
Joe is a Capcom game as well. So you control Ariel here. Okay, so uh, the game is just 5 levels, really. 5 levels, and each level has like two mini stages.
Mhm.
So like scene one, then scene two, then you go off to the next stage. Each level has their own bosses. One of the bosses here would two anyway. In stage two, in particular, you'll be fighting Flotsam and Jetsam. You know those electric eels
The
that
electric
Ursula
eels,
got,
yes.
which I was surprised because you're fighting them so early in the game. You would think that you would fight them before Ursula. Well, spoiler alert: you'll be fighting Ursula on the last stage. So it because I played this blind, and to my understanding, without reading anything, without reading any literature about this game, so it's not necessarily a platformer game. It's more like Ariel just swimming around. So you have your basic attack here. Her basic attack is just her tail whip, and her tail whip, once you get close enough to fish, starfish, sea urchins, if you do your attack, they will be encapsulated in this bubble, and then once they're inside that bubble, you can push them away, and then that's how you beat them. All right. If you don't do that, then you have 3 lives here. One hit will kill you. You only got 3 lives, so be careful with it. As you can see there in the game footage, uh, it kind of reminds me of Chip and Dale, basically, where
Mm.
you just tossing boxes up and down. So this is basically the same principle. You put them in the bubble, toss them around where you want them to be tossed at. Okay, you can use them once they're inside the balloon, this bubble. They're basically projectiles that you can use against bosses or big enemies. All right. Every now and then you'll see some seashells, and I'm like, what's the seashells for? And you'll see some treasure chests here and there. Apparently, these treasure chests will have power up, power up balls. Some green, some red, and not all of the treasure chests will have power up. Sometimes they're empty. Sometimes it's green. Sometimes it's red. And for you to open up those treasure chests, you need to backtrack where you found those seashells, and you throw that seashells onto those treasure chests. And with me, I'm not sure because I'm not reading any instructions. I didn't know that. Took me a while to discover that. And as far as I can remember, if you're able to find the red balls in those random treasure chests, it will power up your tail attack. Okay, and the more power ups that you get, the easier it is for you to beat those bosses. However, I did manage to beat this game just with the basic attack. Anyway, it's very easy. All right, and this is coming from me. If I was able to finish this like in less than an hour, really, without any power ups, without knowing anything. Okay. If there's any cheat that I did, I just look at the playthroughs of some in YouTube on how to beat some of the one particular boss because I didn't know what to do. I think it was stage three when you were fighting a walrus, and he's up above two iceberg platforms, and Ariel is submerged, right? So how am I supposed to get above there? So I checked I checked a playthrough, and okay, I didn't realize I can do that because and then I was able to pass that stage. So yeah. Otherwise, as you can see there, so you can see Ariel on a dry platform. That's the
Flopping
only
around.
platform that you'll ever do. Okay, if you see a dry platform, you just jump out of the water, get whatever or do whatever it is you need to do there, and then splash back. That's all really.
I mean, it makes
Yeah,
sense. You're a mermaid, right?
you're a mermaid. You'll just flounder around the ground.
Exactly.
No pun
Yeah.
intended.
All right. So yes, the Little Mermaid for NES Famicom. Side note, my missus and I absolutely, absolutely love the Little Mermaid movie. Anytime it shows anywhere, If it's on Disney Channel, if it's on a random television on in a mall, I will sit down and watch the entire thing from start to finish. Absolutely, absolutely love the movie. And this game looks like a very close well, not adaptation, but a close relation to it. It does, as Joe said, it is a what if, shall we say, a semi-side story to the movie and television series. If anybody remembers the Disney Channel TV series of The Little Mermaid, yeah, it does
If
seem to be faithful to the very concept of The Little Mermaid. Go ahead,
if
Joe.
if there's one more thing that I will add to this game, the
Mm-hmm.
ending.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mentioned this during in our group chat, and
Mm-hmm.
I really need to watch the movie again because I don't remember the Queen. Should I spoil this? Okay.
Go ahead. It's the
In
statute of limitations
so
again.
okay, so in the ending, so they beat so I managed to beat Ursula.
Yes.
Okay. Um. Oh, Ursula has two forms in this. Okay, so she's like Frieza. It's not even my final form. So you're fighting
Okay.
small Ursula, and you'll be fighting big, thick Ursula. All right.
Okay.
If Ursula is not even is not thick enough for you,
Mm-hmm.
the very last boss, Ursula, the thickest form that she got, yeah, you're gonna be fighting that. And to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, she's a lot more easier to fight than her first form. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
with Ursula, okay. So ending, okay. So in the ending, so I managed to beat Ursula, and King Trident is like is so sad to see Ariel, of course, with Ursula gone. Then that means she can no longer turn human. She can no longer have those human legs of hers. All right, because as if you are familiar, she had to trade her voice for a pair of human legs. She defeated Ursula, so the spell's broken. She's back as a mermaid now. She got her voice, but she can no longer be with Eric as long as she is a mermaid. King Trident's like, you know what? You saved the kingdom. Might as well grab his trident, okay, zaps Ariel and giving her a pair of human legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, so if you could have done that in the first place, then why would even approach Ursula?
Joe
You
still
know?
has to experience this part of fatherhood, where if his kid wants to do something that you don't want her to do, you try your best for her not to do that. So if she wants to go someplace where it's forbidden or see somebody that you forbade her to see,
Okay,
you do
all right,
everything that you can so that
uh,
you don't allow her to do that. But you'll experience that
all right, okay,
someday.
okay. So,
Sooner or later.
that dick is so fine. Could you give me a pair of legs?
And
I
dad
know.
says,
So I know you have
not
the
yet.
ability to do that. So,
Mhm.
or Ariel, I have the ability to do that, but ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't gonna do that. So, but no, I'm just surprised because I didn't realize he could have done that he has the ability to do that. Well, in the game anyway, he has the
Mhm.
ability to do that anyway. So,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I keep trying to remember. Is there any scene in the animated movie that he was able to transform Ariel back to human?
No, but it's part of
I
his,
need to
yeah.
rewatch that the ending scene of
No,
that movie. But
I
that's
just
definitely
presume, yeah, that it's part of his kingly power that if he grants legs to somebody, then that's a permanent thing. So that she's going to have to go on to land forever, and he can't, be
yeah.
with her anymore. So, mm,
So
uh,
to all of you guys in the chat, if you are familiar with the movie, please correct me if I'm wrong.
yes. Reikyu actually had a little bit of a really, really good comment here earlier. Little Mermaid is a platformer game, but with all the stages are underwater stages.
That is
Good,
true.
good
No, no,
comment,
it's
Reikyu.
true.
Very
Actually, it's
true.
true.
It
I
only
like
becomes
that one.
platformer if she's in the like dry land.
Yes,
In dry land.
exactly.
Try
Uh,
to
Opinion, guys. JDM, let's hear your opinion of Joe's choice of game, The Little Mermaid for NES Famicom.
I haven't played this game, but I seen people play this.
Mhm.
Um, and I have this. We have this comment here from
Mm.
um, not sure. I think this is. So
Richard?
let's just read it.
Hmm.
No. So one comment here, he says that my nephew played this game before
Oh, this is
since he was
Marlon.
a
Yeah,
kid.
this is Marlon.
Eh,
Marlon. Hey, Marlon.
Marlon. My nephew played this game before since he was a kid in a VCD with NES on CD. That's the first time actually that I saw this game. I know there's some Little Mermaid NES game, but I haven't seen it until when was that, 2005, when I visited a friend, and this was um on the one of their VCDs.
Hmm.
You know how high tech the
Oh,
VCDs were
VCDs
back
were the
then
were
in
the
the.
thing. For you, young whippersnappers, VCDs are the precursor to DVDs. Okay, in the Philippines, we didn't have DVDs. VCDs were the thing. Anyway, continue, JDM.
So this DVD had like a port where you could connect a controller and play games in it. Like
Ah,
you have the, like the 101 games that you have
hmm,
in the Famicom. It's like
yes.
that. Then I always kid the people that you should have, it's not that VCD game, that VCD game is not legit if it's not Bubu Chacha in the background, because when you're selecting the games, it's always the Bubu Chacha, even if the in the, like the shops
Hmm.
in the sidewalks,
Yeah.
it's always that VCD disc that they have.
Mhm. How about
So
Sievert? Oh, sorry, JDM. Go ahead. Finish your point.
I might play this, and also it helps if you read the literature, because
Hmm.
it comes in with the game. So might as well, if you have some
Read.
time,
Hmm.
Read,
read.
guys. Read.
Hey, go ahead, Joe. Say the line. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But yeah, Siebert, what's your opinion of Joe's selection, The Little Mermaid
I
for
think
NES Famicom?
John missed because
This is this
in
is
order.
his kind of game, actually.
Hmm.
This is the kind of game
That's
that he
true.
would play.
That's true. Because I think John missed that in order for you to progress in the game, that you have to find those weeds.
Mm.
It's they call it polyps. So it's scattered all around the stage where you need to find them one by one
Hmm.
in order for you to actually progress in the game. I actually have a copy of this game.
Oh, there you go.
I
That's it.
I have the Sega Genesis copy and the Sega Game Gear.
Mm.
So
Very cool.
it's Disney.
Hmm.
Who doesn't love Disney,
Hmm.
right? And like Sergio mentioned, this is the type of game I, aside from survival horror, these are the
Hmm.
types of game I actually play. I
Hmm.
love Disney. So I played this. It's like it's a short game, to be honest.
Hmm.
So it's one of those cutie games that you can finish in less than an hour.
Hmm.
So it's not that too difficult. So it's easy to go around the game. So
Oh.
Sega, Nintendo, and Sega Game Gear, I believe they have the same gameplay. So you can play it on any port, and
Hmm.
it's the same.
Oh, here. Joe, go ahead. Read Richard's comment. He explains it
Okay.
perfectly.
So King Trident did eventually granted her legs after seeing her risk her life to save Eric. So he finally understood and let her enjoy the life of a prepubescent kid anyway. Then
Hmm.
cue the events in the Little Mermaid 2. How old was Ariel in this?
16, I think.
She's
16 years
barely
old.
18 in this.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Talk
there.
about
So
barely with.
yeah.
So basically, Prince Eric is committing to,
It no. Well,
statutory rape.
but then again, we're talking about medieval times. So,
Yeah.
it's also figurative. The
True.
fact that the father allows his daughter to have her own legs and have her own agency and walk her own path. That's the granting of the legs, because
That young though.
yeah. Well, I mean, uh, you don't
There's no law
apply
during those days, Sir Joe.
don't apply anachronistic logic to to different time words.
She's
Anyway,
barely an adult.
well,
Oh,
there you
fine.
go.
Okay.
So that's the first round. Let's have a little bit of a break. We are going to be doing an ad break, and I hope you guys will stay on for our round two speed round of games that you can finish in one sitting on the NES Famicom. Take it away, John.
All right, let's hear from StreamYard and BitMap Books. Don't go away, guys. Do you like playing video games? Do you like reading about history? Do you like learning about video game history? Then you should give yourself the gift of owning some video game history books from BitMap. Since 2014, BitMap Books have published numerous colorful and well-detailed hardbound books about video games ranging from the different video game consoles of old and the various video game genres that will surely pique the interest of its core fanbase. BitMap's team of global video game journalists, players, and illustrators have produced numerous award-winning titles that celebrate the software, hardware, and developers that laid down the foundations for the billion-dollar video game industry we all know and love today. International shipping is also available with careful and considerate packaging from BitMap Books. If you don't want to take my word for it, then you can believe the people, almost 10,000 satisfied customers who submitted their glowing written reviews and video reviews after receiving their books from BitMap. By ordering your first BitMap book using our link, you will also be supporting the Timeless Gamers Show in spreading our love of video games and their rich history. Start your own online live streams, webinars, podcasts, online classes, and virtual presentations with Streamyard. By using Streamyard's user-friendly interface, you can also do simultaneous multi-streaming if you have accounts to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and other platforms. If live streaming is not your style, video and audio recordings are also available, especially with those who have variable and inconsistent internet connections. The finished output will still come out as clear and well articulated exactly as you originally intended. You can also customize the appearance of your presentation, like green screen effects, facial touch-ups to smoothen out those facial blemishes, multiple cameras for multiple guests joining in the discussion, your own wallpaper on the background, adding your own logo as a watermark, sharing videos from your own computer or other website for added visual aids with or without audio, uploading your own background music if you wish to set the mood when talking, and lots more. Before you can enjoy all of the wonderful full features of StreamYard, you can start with a 14-day free trial by using our link. Not only that you are supporting the Timeless Gamer Show, but you can see it for yourself how easy it is using StreamYard. All right, thank you for that, StreamYard and BitMap Books. And now it's time for our part 2.
Yes.
Sergio.
All right, so this is what we like to call the speed round because we want to go through all the games of round two in a fast manner and we get to the very heart of why that game can be played in one sitting and it's very enjoyable. So I am tossing out my round two game pick. It is going to be karateka or karateka. I don't know how everybody pronounces it, but it's karateka for me on the Famicom. The first and which can be doubled with Prince of Persia, but I'm not. I never played Prince of Persia on the NES. But karateka
Oh.
is yes, karateka is the game that I absolutely love to play through in one sitting. Karateka is the story of a karate master who has had his lady love kidnapped, Princess Mariko, held in a um, in a in a in a dojo somewhere by the big bad guy, and it is developed by the same guy who developed Prince of Persia, Jordan Mechner, guy from France who did rotoscoped animation. It's called rotoscope animation because it captures actual movements by actual karate masters who will perform actual karate moves, karate punches, karate kicks, karate stances, and you go from left to right from landing onto the island of the big bad guy's dojo and fight through hordes of his minions in karate gis. You're also in a karate gi. You guys approach each other from left to right. Of course, a little bit of an honor system here. When you first approach each other, you have the option to bow, and the other guy bows back to you. But if you have no honor, you just go ahead and run to him and start punching and kicking. Movements are a little bit slow. Um, but they are accurate to how you perform in karate. Of course, it is you do high kicks, mid kicks, low kicks, punches. Punches are much shorter in range. Graphics are very simple, but very fluid in terms of the movements. You're not concentrating on the background, the sky, which is just lines of blue and white that kind of signify the sky and clouds. You're not looking at the ground, which is plain flat green field, which kind of represents grass. But yes, karateka, you concentrate on your main character who is fighting bad guys in geese, karate geese. You are going to be fighting hawks that are sent to you from the big bad guy. You have to time it right so that you kick or punch the hawk that's coming towards you, or else it causes you damage. You are also not. You're not represented here by life bars here. You are represented by these little squares in the top of the screen that move left and right. The stronger you get, the more attacks that you hit or land on your opponent, the more your square moves towards the other side, towards the bad guy side. That gives you more stamina. The more you hit, the more you get hit, the less your stamina reaches to the left, and you take less hits before you slump down dead. Their kicks and punches are fatal. So of course, one of the obstacles that kind of sat in my mind in this game is once you get to the dojo, there are these portcullises that go up and down. If you approach it badly or if you approach it wrong, that portcullis will slam down on your head and kill you instantly. And at the very end of it, Princess Mariko is waiting for you. I've never really experienced this, but whenever I got to the very end, when you get to the dojo, the opponents are harder. Outside with the opponents, when they come out, they're just basic scrubs. But when you get to the inside of the game, the opponents are harder to beat. And of course, at the final boss, you fight the big bad guy in the blue aqua gi. Not very useful when it comes to hiding, but very fashionable. And yeah, you rescue Princess Mariko. If you approach her wrong in a fighting stance, she kicks you dead. But if you approach her in a neutral manner or in a loving manner, of course, you're approaching her. Then you guys have a nice ending. Well, not a happy ending, but you guys hug each other, and there's a nice little screen that does show that you were able to finish the game. So Karateka speed
Ah,
round for me.
finally finished. Ha.
Well, not in Joe's manner of speaking, but yes, Karateka for NES Famicom, as developed by Jordan Meshner, as Marlon did say here, same developer of Prince of Persia. Excellent, excellent game. Played through it many, many times, and I still play through it if I want a quick fix of achievement for myself that I finish a game from start to finish. Very quick opinions, guys. Anybody? What's your opinion of Karateka for NES Famicom?
I played this a lot back in the days. It's one of those games I didn't know that had ending.
Mm,
So I just go from left to right. I didn't
mm,
know there was an ending, but yeah, it's a decent game. So
mhm,
I now I know that it's the developer was the one who actually made Prince of Persia. But
mhm.
Prince of Persia, by the way, is one of the most beautiful game I played.
Oh yes, absolutely. The original Prince of
Yeah.
Persia, it had a hard 60-minute timer on that one. We're talking like that one you have to finish
To
in
finish.
order for you to. All right, JDM, what's your opinion of Karateka for NES Famicom?
Yeah, I played this as well, but back then I didn't know that it was Jordan Mechner who
Mm,
developed this. And one of
mhm,
um the thing that I really noticed in this game is the how the movement was
mm,
so fluid. And
yeah,
unlike from the other NES games that I played, mostly they have like what 2 to 3 frames of movement, but for
Mm-hmm.
this one it's more than that, like more than 3 frames of movement. So that's why the actions are, it requires timing, and there's like a latency in when you kick someone. It's like a couple of seconds
Mm-hmm.
before it hits the opponent, right?
Yeah.
So you can really see the rotoscoping in motion.
Yeah.
And one of the uh, mem- memorable things that I remember playing this game for the first time is I didn't know what to do. I moved the controller to the right,
Mm-hmm.
to the left, I mean. Then suddenly I fell from the cliff.
Yes, you can fall off the cliff.
And it was also well animated because you
Yeah.
see his foot, like you really see him slipping
Yep.
from in the cliff, and the last frame is the foot, his foot being
Mm-hmm.
the last thing that you see before he falls. So
It's true.
yeah,
It's true. Jo,
the
your opinion.
animation.
Your opinion of Karateka for NES Famicom.
I remember playing this on the 9999999 in one.
Okay.
And one of the things I remember, I barely made it to the very first enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Because because to me it was slow,
Mm-hmm.
like painfully slow. Uh, and and now that I'm learning the information right now, because they
Mm-hmm.
try to, I'm not sure if they're like Sir Joel mentioned, they're doing some sort of a motion capture
Motion capture. Yes.
with their movement here. So so you kind of understand why they're moving more fluid. There's a little bit more animation in their movement here, but I would have appreciated if they could have made it a little bit faster. Like nobody runs like that. What the hell? So I mean, nobody runs like that so slow. Nobody kicks that slow. Nobody's punched that slow. And and like Sergio Day mentioned, it's all about timing. Uh, and because this game came out of the 9999999 infinite in one. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what button to press. I have no literature going into this. So what does B, what does A do? Those button what does the button do? So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I try to fight an opponent, I keep tapping B, I keep tapping A, and you would think that by tapping B, you'll immediately kick or you immediately punch. No, when you try to press B, the animation doing a single kick
Mm-hmm.
or a single punch will take you like maybe a half a second
Yes.
to pull off. So you pushing repeatedly does nothing. All right. No
Yes.
amount of frustration. No, not any amount of frustration.
Except for
Pushing
that
all of these
time.
buttons will make it go faster. No.
Yeah. You see
Well, there
you see
you go.
that when he does the like
Mm-hmm.
FPJ rapid punching.
Oh, exactly. Yes. So I
When it's
call it
only when the opponent is covered,
is yes
cornered.
when the opponent is pushed against the wall, then you can do the hundred crack fist of the North Star. But otherwise, yes, it is slow. It is very deliberate, I guess, when you're talking about the movements.
You know
And
what?
mm,
I am more accustomed to kung fu.
mm, ER Kung Fu, yes. Oh yes, definitely. Hmm.
Yeah,
Or the one with
Oh yeah.
what game was that?
Which one?
Uh,
Fist of the
Nuclear
North Star.
Paradise, right?
Oh, Spartan X. Spartan X. Okay, there
Spot
you
ah
go.
next,
yeah,
okay?
Spartan.
Yes,
Spot
there
next,
you
when you
go.
press the button, you kick, you punch. Not
Hmm.
I mean, none of this bitch ass animation. What is the bullshit that they're trying to do here?
Okay.
No,
All right, now we move on to our next game selection. Let's do JDM this time. Let's do JDM to go first as to your speed round pick. JDM, second choice of game. Very quickly.
For my second choice, it's going to be the Flintstones, The Surprise at Dinosaur Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wow,
you see a pattern
that's a
here.
beautiful
I'm
game.
I'm
That is
I'm
something
doing
Sir
the
Gilbert would play.
I'm doing the cartoon based games. And for this, it's a
No, these
platformer
games
game.
are pretty. Yeah,
Right. And
I
it's
love
based on a
these types of
cartoon.
game. Yeah,
So
true.
Well, the
people
Flintstones,
will
one of
really
the longest running cartoon of all time before the Simpsons came along.
right.
Flintstones, yes, Flintstones.
It's actually one
Even
of the
more so
most
the Jetsons,
expensive
but
game
Flintstones, yes.
released on the NES.
Really? Oh, okay.
Is that correct,
I
JDM?
mean Flintstones then Jetsons, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of
And
the most expensive game released on any. Is this the one or what was it the other one? Let me check.
uh,
Anyway,
I don't
y-
know if that is the if this game is the most expensive, one of the most expensive in the NES library. But I got this. It was really late, like 94 or 95, but this game was released in 1993, so I was late for like 2 years. But still, it looks good because it's the second phase of the NES like era. Then
Hmm.
it's a
that's right.
action
It is.
platformer game, and you play as Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. You could play either of them, just press the select button, and they have different
Abilities.
styles of gameplay, yeah,
Hmm.
abilities. For Fred Flintstone, you have this club, and you can I think you can do like a power attack that you can do by holding the attack button. Then if you have enough power in your bar, then he could do a mini earthquake and stun the opponents. And then for Barney, he has this slingshot that can fire stones.
Hmm.
And then he could like jump. No, he could hang on a lead. I mean, like this
Grapevine, the vines.
rods, right?
Yep.
Which Fred Flintstone can do. And
Also, it's a
I
co-op.
think
So this is a co-op game. So you need to shift between characters to progress.
yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And so the story is you have Barney and Fred Flintstone trying to rescue their kids, Bam Bam and Pebbles, right? And
Yes.
Yep.
they're on the other side of this volcano. Suddenly,
Why?
this lava, this lava, all of a
Why are
sudden,
they
just
there behind a volcano? Why?
yeah. And that's the reason why it's called Surprise at Dinosaur Peak because
Yeah, it's
um,
surprising that they're there. Did they even
and
explain why they're there behind a volcano though?
actually they don't have any idea. That's why they're going their way to the other side of the volcano to meet
A very
them.
irresponsible caveman right here.
Hmm.
Yes. And they asked help from their one of their friends who is an alien from the future, a time traveler. I forgot
What?
his name.
Uh,
It's
is
in
it
the
George
comics.
Jetson?
No, not
That
George Jetson. This guy, that green Martian guy.
It's Gazoo. Yeah, it's Gazoo.
Yes, Gazoo. But
Oh my god, I
unfortunately,
still know the
he's
names, Sir
still
Joel.
he's, he's,
That's
he's
real.
still limited of his.
It's one
I
of our
still know the
childhood
names.
formative memories. What can I
Yeah.
say?
The Great Gazoo. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Mhm.
So he's
All
a
right.
time traveler.
Who
Even
keep
he
who
can.
keeps telling people dum dum? Yes, dum dum.
Mhm.
that, uh,
Uh,
that that
So
that that's his moniker to everyone actually. To
Go ahead,
yes.
humans.
JD.
So Fred and Barney are trying to get some help from Gazoo, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, he's limited with the technology of their time. So what they have to do is they have to go through this overworld and complete the other levels and try to collect these crystals that they could give to um, this pterodactyl that they could ride to the other side of the island.
Mhm.
And once they reach the other side of the island, they discover that there's a dinosaur guarding that volcano who is responsible for the magma or the lava.
Mm.
And they defeated that dinosaur, and they were given the chance to I mean that dinosaur gave them a passage, and then they met with their kids who were there
Mhm.
to the reason why they were on the other side of the lava is for them to be able to make s'mores from the heat of the lava
What?
that was coming out from the volcano. So that is the surprise at,
Mhm.
at the dinosaur peak, for them to
I
be able
see.
to enjoy s'mores. But because
Okay.
the lava was no
Okay.
longer the molten lava
That's
was
more.
already cooled off, so there will be no more s'mores.
Mm,
So they were like, they were angry that why did you do that? I
mm,
thought we were having like a picnic or something. Then all of a sudden they get angry. Then I remember Fred Flintstone
mhm,
saying that, oh, how stupid of us, like something like that.
mhm.
And the game ends, then the credits roll, and that's it.
Okay. There's a very interesting factoid here by Richard Ryan Ortega. Very, very cool. Developed by Taito Corporation. That time, they are known for their simple but challenging gameplay. The Flintstones was so successful that Hanna-Barbera made it their mascot. And we have Phil Am Cartoon Studio and other studios to thank for giving Filipino animators jobs. Really, really cool. And it's very true also because if I remember correctly, Toy, am I remember correctly?
Toy. Toy.
Toy is
Toy.
based also in
Toy.
the Philippines, in Mandaluyong, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Now that is a very
Toy
cool
animation. Yeah.
factoid. I was able to visit there. I was able to visit their studio one time, and
Are they still
the
there?
wall. I'm not quite sure, but when we visited it long ago, I think back in college,
Yeah.
their walls were plastered with all the paintings of all the characters that they animate. So yes, how as a wrap up, GDM, how long would it take you to finish this in one sitting?
um, let's see, like an hour.
An hour. Okay, that's good. I definitely go through
Yeah.
that. Definitely go through this one, the Flintstones, Surprise at Dinosaur Peak, if I wanted to finish something fast and easy. All right, now let's hear from Siebert. What is your speed round pick, Siebert, of a game that you can finish in one sitting for the NES Famicom?
Actually, that game that
Hmm.
Sergey them featured, Flintstone Dinosaur Peak, it's one of the most expensive NES games released.
Really?
So
Wow.
getting a
Oh,
loose copy, as per price charting, they're valuing it at $1,200
I
Dang.
wonder
just
where
What?
that
for
copy
it
Really?
is.
for the cartridge, and that's how
Mm.
expensive it is. Anyway, I have to correct myself because a while ago I mentioned this was from Data East. Now I was looking at another game. It's from Capcom. So
Mm,
Dream
Ah,
Capcom,
Master,
Dream
I,
Master.
I, me- I mentioned this a while ago,
that's
so I have
fine.
to
That's
correct
fine.
myself.
That's
Because the
fine.
next game that I'm gonna mention, it's that's the one that's made by Data East.
Hmm.
So I'm very fond of the platforming games back in the days. Though this is one of the rarest that I was able to acquire on the Famicom. It was never released on the NES. It never had that US release.
Hmm.
So I did mention this on the previous podcast that I'm a big fan of this character, and I had this in Sega Genesis and on the Game Gear, and I also have it. This was only released on the Famicom. It's
Oh,
Donald Land.
McDonald's. McDonald.
It's Ronald McDonald.
Ronald
So
McDonald.
I
The
was checking
kids.
the games because I wanted to show something that's unique, and then
hmm
this is one of the games that I really love to play. That surprised me. That's really good.
hmm
So all of the McDonald's games that were released on the Genesis, on the Game Gear. They're beautiful. You have to give it a try, especially this one, Donald Land. This was released around 1987, so it's a
McDonald land.
platforming game. So The thing is with this game is like it's a kid friendly game, but as you progress, it tends to become spooky. you know, it becomes it tends to become scary. Yeah, maybe this is one of the reason why Ronald is not the mascot anymore of McDonald's. But anyway, it it's kind of scary as
Donald
you
Land. Okay.
yeah, Donald Land. But the thing is, the way you actually play this game, you use an apple that is like a bomb. So there's this clown, an enemy clown, who invaded the Donald Land, and it's your objective of the game is you actually save your friends who
Cloud
was
and
held
Bomb. So
captive.
basically, Joker, Heath Ledger.
Yeah, something like that. So you use the apples that you get all throughout the game to use it as a projectile, like a bomb. At the same time, you can use it to like a platform to go to higher places. So it's a platform game. It took me around initially when I played this, it took me around 4 hours to actually finish it. So, but then again, my second take took me just an hour and a half. So it's it's uh it's like because the thing is back then when Super Mario came out, it's like everything that came out after Super Mario was a clone of Super Mario. So it's like Super Mario but with a different twist, but in different characters. But then again, the gameplay is a bit spooky. So might wanna give it a try. It's kid friendly, but there's some weirdness to it that can appeal to other gamers, like for someone who actually likes survival horror.
Mhm.
Um, it was never released. I'm not sure why it was never released on the NES, but it's an exclusive to the Famicom.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was due to some regional licensing. Maybe McDonald's didn't want to. Maybe they didn't want to pony up for paying for the distribution of their character in U.S. areas. But yeah, it looks like it's English friendly. If you want to
It
play it,
is.
it looks like it's
It
going to
is.
be easy for you to. Actually, Siebert brings
Mm,
up a very good point. There's a ton of Famicom games that
mm.
never made it to the U.S. shores that are English friendly.
And
You can still play
I
it.
wanna,
Hmm.
I wanna, sorry to
Go ahead. No, no
butt
problem. No
in,
problem.
Sergio, because
Hmm.
the thing is with this game, it's in English,
Hmm.
so it was only released in Japan, but it's in English, so
Mm, yeah.
it's a beautiful game that
Yeah,
you
it looks
should give
very
it a
fluid.
try.
It
Yeah.
looks very, it looks very, in a way, since Ronald McDonald is a magical clown, it looks very magical as well. And yes, like I said, there's a ton of Famicom games that you guys might want to explore that was never released in the West that is English friendly as well. You guys might want to delve into them, check them out. And of course, the theme of the episode being games that you can finish in one go, in one sitting. How long would it take you, Seabird, to finish this one in one sitting?
First time I played it, it took me around 4 hours. Second time
Mhm.
I played it around an hour and a half.
An hour and
But
a
it's a
half.
long game, so
Hmm.
you try to venture. It's like there's a part where it's like playing Metroidvania.
Hmm.
So I actually want to mention that because I'm a big fan of Castlevania as well. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to
Oh yeah.
focus on something that's unique.
No,
So
yeah.
there are certain gameplay as you progress on the game that plays like Castlevania as well.
Hmm.
It's a game that you could probably give it a shot. But
Nice
but the
choice.
thing is with this game, same with platforming, the jumping part it's not stable. So what
Hmm.
once you get the hang of it, it becomes
Hmm.
it it's becomes interesting.
Nice. Very good. Very good choice, Seabird. Excellent, excellent choice. And to bring it home, Joe, what's your second game of choice? That games that you can finish in one sitting, NES Famicom speed round edition.
Okay, so I'm a JRPG player, guys, as you know. So I'm gonna finish this with a JRPG, and my to close mine, it would be a game called Radia Senki. Radia Senki uh, originally came out from the Famicom. Okay,
Radia the story.
Um, Radia Senki. So originally came out from Japan back in 1991, developed by Tecmo. And there's an English ROM fan translation of this. It's called Chronicles of Radia War. So that's the English version of it.
Mm.
And I played this with my Vita, and it's not turn based. It's more like the earlier Star Ocean kind of games where you run around the battlefield and you just hack and slash enemies.
Mm.
Okay. Um, at first you got you'll have two playable characters. You'll be controlling the main protagonist, Amnesiac, of course, and you need and you need to put your own name in there. So basically, you're just controlling him. But every once in a while, like the earlier Star Ocean uh, games, you can also give commands to the AI for the second party member that you have, and then eventually, as the game progresses, you'll eventually meet up with more playable characters. Okay. Um, the real magic well, the magic, the real action or the real excitement, I should say, the real excitement happens when you have all five party members with you, because at times when the battlefield, so there's no transition, so you just stop, and then the enemies will just show up. Okay, so there's no transition in between where you fight or where you encounter enemies, so they're all random anyway. So once you have all five characters, you just scramble around, fighting the enemies. Some of those enemies will just fly randomly anywhere. They're not really going straight at you. So you have to go approach them, attack them. Okay, and your party members, they're not really. Let's just say they're not really 100% focused on the enemies as well. At times, they will just try to uh, at times they'll just try to wander around. So unless you give them specific commands where they should focus their target, um, that's it really. If there's anything I can tell about this game, it can be really slow. One of the things that I might nitpick is that when you're walking, it's really slow. There's a lot of backtracking going on, and and the random encounters as well. So it's bad enough that you're walking slow, and there's plenty of backtracking as well. So, all right, and depends on where you are at the story. Sometimes when you accomplish one mission, you'll just get teleported to where you were. It's not always like that. Most of the time, I would say about 75% of the time, you'll need to backtrack to where you were before so you can continue with the story. Um, to my knowledge, there was a map of the world. You know the original Zelda where there was this Famitsu or this Nintendo Power issue that they showed the full map, the area map of Zelda. As far as I know, they also released a full map of Radia Senki, where you can actually have a bird's eye view of where to go.
Mm.
Because, like I mentioned, because you move so slow, and for you to move around the map, like you need to explore all of the map so you can know which way to go. It would be nice if you're walking fast, but no.
Mm-hmm.
So having that map with you will save you some time rather than exploring, blindly. As far as the story goes, in the first, I don't know, in the first 20 seconds of the game, there's this cutscene. There's this palace, and then there's this airship. Okay, there's this castle, an airship escaping that castle. The princess of said castle was there. She's being chased after by another airship by Darth Vader, I guess. So basically, the kingdom was being usurped. The throne is being usurped by the princess's step brother. What are you doing, step brother? And so and and then the story shifts now to the mysterious main protagonist. Does not know where he is. Does not know what's his name. But all of a sudden, it's now his mission to save this princess and bring her back to her kingdom.
That reminds me,
Not
it's
much
one of
of
my
a
pet
story there,
peeves, by the
really.
way. It's one of my pet peeves in video gaming. If you guys want, you can check out one of our previous episodes, Pet Peeves in Video Gaming, the amnesia trope. Anyway.
And amnesia trope. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, like, this guy does not even know. You know what I mean? Why do I care? I mean, dude, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast. I mean, I don't even know who I am. I'm gonna save this princess, this random princess. But anyway, not much of a story here, guys. This is the NES. All
Mhm.
right. This is the typical Japanese storytelling back in the 8-bit era. All right, and this game was did came out during the last legs of the NES. This
Mhm.
came out in 1991.
Okay.
The Super Nintendo was already out. Um, Dragon Quest are already out. Final Fantasy already came out, and they pretty much already perfected the not really perfected, but they already mastered the Japanese role playing in in regards with the 8-bit engine. But with those games, those are turn based. This is an action RPG as it could get, as you can see here in the screen. So if you guys are more familiar with the Mana series, Sir Siebert knows that. With the Sword of Mana series or the Tales
I'm
or
sorry,
Star
I
Ocean
hated that
1.
game.
You hated that game. Star Ocean 1 or even Tales of Fantasia even. Okay? Japanese action-based role-playing game, and personally I'm not really into action role-playing games because most of the action and role-playing games that I know is just one character. But in
Mhm.
this you have five. And I can look way past that as long as I have a working party with me.
Mhm.
I prefer my action RPGs like that. You're moving in a party, not just one character. All right.
All right. So the most important question of the day, how long would it take you to finish this in one sitting, Joe?
I would suggest if you're playing this blind, it may take you more than 6 hours.
Mhm. Okay.
Like I said, the only main reason why this might take a little bit longer is because number one, you're moving slow, and
Mhm.
number two, you don't know where to go. So as long as you
Mhm.
have a map with you, at least that's already half the battle there.
Okay.
All right,
GI
and
Joe.
knowing is half,
There you go.
and knowing is half the power.
The
GI Joe.
There you go. Exactly. Yes. Call back to JDM's good JDM's game. There you go. And so with knowledge of the map and setting the movement side, how long would that take you then? Cutting down that time.
Less than 6 hours if you already have if you're following a map or a walkthrough.
Mm,
Yeah. Keeping the just progress. Don't wander around because if you keep wandering around, more enemies.
mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
and fighting those enemies. Yeah, your walking speed is pretty much the same thing as your battle speed as well. All
Ah,
right.
okay.
So if you keep on messing around, yeah, it might take more out of your time.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's possible you can beat this game in one sitting as long as uh, don't screw around, use the map, and avoid any distractions. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
playing this on a handheld device like a Vita or your RG,
Mm-hmm.
like Sir
Android
Joel has,
device. Yes. Mm-hmm.
um, play it somewhere else where no one can touch you, no
Mm-hmm.
one will call you, no one
Mm-hmm.
will bother you, no one will disturb you. Okay.
In other words, play it in monk mode. Okay, there
Play
you
it in
go.
monk mode. I
Yeah.
mean, your handheld device should have enough battery to finish this game in one sitting.
Mm-hmm. All right, and that is Radia Senki for the NES Famicom, playable in about
Vanya
six
Tower.
hours in one go. All right, and I think that's the show. Bring us home, Joe.
All right, that's the show, guys. Thank you all so much for staying with us. And Sir Nervin, Sir Richard, Sir Marlon, and Rick, you are having a blast down there in the chat. Thank you all so much, and let's all do our shameless plugs.
Final
We'll
comments and
start
shameless
with,
plugs. Yes.
yeah, shameless plugs. Uh, Sir Joel, where can they touch your grass?
You can always catch me as much as possible here on Timeless Gamer Show. Also streaming recently on Rumble, on Kick.com, and on Twitch. Hashtag FUFB forever. I've been playing an old RPG called Two Worlds Epic Edition. And my final thoughts on our topic is these are the games that we grew up with. These are the games that you sit down to play for a one slam through in one sitting to get that sense of achievement and accomplishment. Just a very quick fix because for adults, we're old folks already. And it's nice to look back at all these games that we sat down to and enjoyed in one sitting just to play through again and to just say, hey, I still got it. So, yes, uh, Joel Buckley here, Banyagang Native, always, almost always here on Timeless Gamers Show, unless life gets in the way. Thanking everybody in the chats. You guys made the conversation great. You guys deserve all the credit for how well this conversation and this podcast happened. Thank you so much, guys. All right, on to back to you, Joe. On to the next one.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Joel. Sir JDM, where can they touch your grass?
If you have plenty of time, you can cut the grass.
Outside of his lawn.
123 Go Retro, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Recently, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 4, so I'm going back to my roots and playing those games that I love. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us in this kind of nostalgic episode. And see you on to the next episode.
All right, thank you for that, Sir JDM. And of course, Sir Seabird, where can they
Uh,
touch your grass?
I'm frequent with in RGCP, so I've been actually one of my part time is doing buying and selling of games lately. So I'm trying to dispose those uh loose games and buy some games that might interest me because one of the games I'm playing right now is Casper on the PlayStation 1. So I've been jumping from new and old, from from different types of genre. So and yeah, so I thank you as well for having me be part of the show again. So these are one of those show that I really love, tackling uh, games from the past, especially these types of game. And the good thing about the Famicom and the NES is that unlike Sega or Sega, there's a lot that we're still discovering as of now. So that's the good thing about being a retro gamer. So it's not just the new games that we're discovering; it's the old ones that we just passed and just learning just now. And that's about it. Thank you, guys.
All right, he's gonna take you back to the past. All right, so quick shout out again. Speaking of shameless plugging, if you want to educate yourself with the history of video games by genre or by console, check out BitMap Books by using our link down there in the description. And for all of you guys who are planning to have your own podcast, webinars, online meetings, use StreamYard by checking our description down below for a 14-day free trial. And of course, Shuffle Emporium. Get your trading cards like Final Fantasy, One Piece, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, what have you, and other anime-related goodies. Go to their official website, shuffleemporium.com, or by going to their Facebook page for the updated inventory. Shuffle Emporium on their Facebook page. And of course, for all of your comments, suggestions, and insults, go send them to timelessgamers.com at
Threats.
gmail.com. So timelessgamers.show at gmail.com. Or just
Yeah.
go to our website, timelessgamers.com. Okay? Timelessgamers.com, guys. Yeah, hey. And yep, that's it, guys. That's all for the show. And Sir Dan and Miss so I would like to take this opportunity. So Sir Dan and Miss I, they're having some health issues, so they're taking some indefinite leave, time off from the show. On behalf of the crew here, we wish them all the best of their health. We're hoping that they'll be able to, so, if they're well enough to participate in any way, shape, or form, they are still quite welcome here in the show. Uh,
More time to play
and
video games.
Yeah, and also on behalf of Sir Viraj, Sir Jose, Miss Hino, and Sir Drew, uh, that's the show, guys. And again, thanks our appreciation to Sir Siebert for doing this show again with us, of course.
Yay! Thank you.
Whenever there's a particular episode that we think it's up in his alley, of
Mhm.
course. And if he is available, he's always ready to oblige. Welcome to humor us. Thank you for
Of
that, Sir
course.
Siebert. And that's the show, guys. Our games and our bodies may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain. Hey,
Timeless.
Amra.
All right. Enjoy the weekend, guys. See you again in the next episode. Download our podcast. Enjoy. Bye.
That man from
Bye, Wilson.
Atlantis.
Oh, yes.
Bye,
The
Wilson from
dude from
Atlantis.
Atlantis. Enjoy.
I hope you're
Yo,
watching.
yo.
Yo.